Why do we hold on so tightly to things, people, and thoughts that hurt us? Have you ever tried to control everything in your life, only to feel more exhausted and lost? Why is it so hard to just let go, even when we know it's the right thing to do? Think of this: someone holding a rope tightly. The rope is burning their hand, yet they refuse to let go. They believe if they just hold on a little longer, the pain will stop. But it doesn't. It only gets worse. The only way to stop the pain is to release the rope. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where deep truths are spoken in simple words. This video is a journey into the heart of letting go. If you find even a small insight here today, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribes. Isn't that surprising? Your support really means a lot and helps us keep creating meaningful content for you. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing peace over pain. In Buddhism, letting go is not a weakness, it is a strength. It is the moment when we stop clinging, stop resisting, and allow life to flow as it is. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. When we attach to outcomes, people, memories, or identities, we start building cages around ourselves. We get stuck, and that stuck feeling, that's where suffering begins. Letting go is like unclenching your fist after a long time. At first, it feels strange, maybe even scary, but slowly, the hand feels free again. The mind feels light. People often ask, how do I let go? The truth is, it's not something you force. It's something you understand. When you see clearly that holding on is causing pain, the grip loosens by itself. Life changes. People leave. Dreams fade. Nothing is permanent. The sooner we see this, the easier it becomes to flow with life. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you are choosing to care for yourself, your peace, your truth. You stop fighting what cannot be changed. This path is not about becoming someone else. It's about dropping the false and discovering what was always there: silence, stillness, freedom. And so, the first step is awareness. Just notice. What are you holding on to? Why? What are you afraid might happen if you let it go? In the next part, we will go deeper into this, into impermanence, and why everything that comes must go. Stay with us. This journey is just beginning. Come closer. Sit. Breathe. Today, I will tell you something very important, something that is not hidden in temples or mountains. It is right here, in your everyday life. But very few see it. Everything changes. Nothing stays. This truth, impermanence, is the heartbeat of life. Once you understand this deeply, truly, not just in words, your suffering will begin to melt like snow under sunlight. Let me ask you, have you ever tried to hold on to a beautiful moment? Maybe it was a quiet morning, the sound of birds, the smell of tea, the warmth of someone you love. And then it ended, didn't it? That's how life moves. It never stops. Just like the wind, just like the clouds in the sky. It keeps flowing. And no matter how tightly you close your hands, you cannot stop a moment from passing. Now think of this: the child gets a new toy. He is full of joy. But what happens when the toy breaks or is taken away? Tears, anger, sadness. Why? Because he thought the toy would always be there. Adults are not so different. We get attached, not just to things, but to people, to jobs, to status, to emotions, to dreams. And when these things change or leave us, we cry too. Maybe not outside, but inside. Buddhism teaches this clearly. Anicca, or impermanence, is one of the three marks of existence. The other two are suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. Impermanence is not a curse. It is not something to fear. It is the very nature of reality. And once you see it as it is, you begin to live with more ease. Take the seasons. Winter turns to spring, spring to summer. No matter how much you love the cherry blossoms, they will fall. And yet, the falling is part of their beauty. If cherry blossoms bloomed forever, would you still admire them the same way? In Zen, we say, the flower falls even though we love it. The weed grows even though we do not want it. This is life. You do not always get what you want, and what you have, you cannot keep forever. But here's the secret. That's okay. Impermanence brings freedom, if you allow it. You no longer chase moments. You simply live them. A Zen master once held up a glass and said, "To me, this glass is already broken. I enjoy it. I use it. But I know it will fall one day, or crack, or be lost. So I treat it with care and gratitude." This is how you must treat everything. When you understand impermanence, you don't take anything for granted. You stop saying forever in a world where nothing lasts. You begin to appreciate people, not for how long they stay, but for who they are while they are here. Even pain doesn't last forever. That heartbreak you thought would break you, where is it now? That anger, that fear, that loneliness, they came like waves, and they left. So why panic when the next wave arrives? You are not drowning. You are learning to swim in the ocean of change. Many people fear impermanence because they think it means loss. But look again. Impermanence also means possibility. It means nothing is fixed. Even your sadness, even your mistakes. You are not stuck. You can begin again, right now, because everything flows. Even your thoughts are not permanent. Observe your mind. One moment, it is full of noise. The next, it is silent. One moment, you love. The next, you are angry. Then love returns. So if even your thoughts are not permanent, why believe them all? This is a powerful insight. Don't build your life on something so shaky. Buddhist said, all conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. Do you see what he means? It's not the change that hurts. It's our refusal to accept the change. We suffer not because people leave, but because we expect them to stay. We suffer not because our body grows old, but because we wanted to stay young forever. But tell me, if everything stayed the same, how would we grow? How would we learn? How would we see the truth? Letting go begins here, by looking deeply at the truth of impermanence. It's like standing at the edge of a river. You see the water pass by? You know you cannot hold it, but you can watch it. You can feel its coolness. You can let it touch your hands, and then let it go. The river does not stop, and neither does life. So don't carry yesterday with you. Don't fear tomorrow. Just be here now. Watch the river. Drink from it. But do not try to build a dam. In Japanese Zen, there's a word, wabi-sabi. It means the beauty of things that are imperfect, impermanent, and incomplete. A cracked bowl, a faded leaf, an old wooden floor. All of them are beautiful because they are changing, aging, fading. Can you see the same beauty in yourself? In your wrinkles? In your mistakes? In your past? You are a living expression of impermanence. Every cell in your body changes. Every breath is new. Every thought is passing. So why carry heavy baggage when even your body is not carrying the same cells as last year? Now listen carefully. You do not need to become anything. You only need to see what is. See how everything rises and falls. Joy and sorrow. Success and failure. Praise and blame. You are not these things. You are the space in which they happen. You are the sky, not the weather. And just as the sky does not cling to the clouds, you too must learn to watch and release. This is the art of letting go, the heart of Buddhism. Not because you are heartless, but because you are wise. To love something deeply means to allow it to change. To live without fear means to bow to impermanence. You don't lose by letting go. You gain clarity. You gain freedom. You gain peace. So next time you are holding on tightly to a thought, a memory, a fear, a desire, pause. Ask yourself gently, is this permanent? Or is this just passing through? And then breathe. Let it pass. Just like the river. That is enough for today. Next time, we will go deeper into the illusion of control. Why do we try so hard to manage everything? And how can surrender make us stronger? Until then, stay soft, stay still, and stay awake. The truth is already here. Let it reveal itself. The illusion of control, releasing the grip of ego. The Zen Master sat quietly, watching the morning sun slip through the leaves. Birds chirped softly. A breeze moved gently through the trees. He opened his eyes and spoke with calm and clarity. You are not in control, he said. And that's okay. He looked at the student sitting across from him, confused, troubled, fidgeting. The student had been trying for years to control everything: his career, his relationships, his emotions, his future. But the more he tried, the more tired he became. This world, the master continued, moves like a river. It flows. You can fight it or you can float with it. But no one, not even the most powerful, can control the river. The student leaned forward. But master, if I don't take control, won't everything fall apart? Won't I become weak, lazy, or lost? The master smiled gently. Let me tell you a story, he said. There was once a man who thought he could control the wind. Every time the wind blew too hard, he shouted at it. Every time it was calm, He begged it to move. He built machines to stop the wind. He cursed the skies. But no matter what he did, the wind continued as it pleased. One day, tired and broken, the man sat under a tree. He noticed a child flying a kite. The wind was strong, yet the child was smiling. The kite danced in the air. The man asked, "How do you control the wind?" The child laughed. "I don't. I just fly the kite with it." Control is an illusion. We think we are the driver, but life has always been the road. The ego, that voice inside that says, "I know best, I must fix everything, I must win," is afraid of surrender. It believes that letting go means losing. But the truth is, letting go is where true power begins. In Buddhism, the ego is seen as a false identity. It's a mask we wear. It tells us we must be right, must be strong, must be admired. It pushes us to fix everything, control everyone, and plan every detail of the future. But life doesn't work that way. Have you ever tried to control how someone feels about you? Have you ever planned every step of your day only for things to fall apart? Have you ever held on to anger or fear, believing it would protect you, only to feel heavier? That is the ego at work. The Zen Master once told his student, "The tighter you hold sand in your fist, the more it slips away. Open your palm, and the sand rests gently there." This is how life works. We try to control things out of fear, fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of being hurt. But the act of controlling often brings more suffering than the thing we fear itself. Look at nature. The sun does not need your permission to rise. The seasons change without your control. Your body breathes without you thinking about it. Your heart beats even when you're asleep. All of this happens. You are part of this nature, too. But the mind, especially the egoic mind, believes it is separate. It believes it can command the rain, order the stars, and decide outcomes. But control is not real. Influence, yes. Guidance, yes. But not control. Once, the student asked the master, "If I let go of control, won't my life fall apart?" The master replied, "Your life is not yours to hold together. You are here to live it, not to grip it tightly." Letting go of control doesn't mean becoming careless. It means becoming aware. It means understanding that not everything is yours to manage, and not everything needs to go your way. This is a difficult lesson. Most people grow up believing that if they just try hard enough, they can fix anything. And yes, effort is noble. Discipline matters. But the final outcome, that is often not in your hands. You may plant a tree, but you cannot force it to grow faster. You may love someone deeply, but you cannot make them stay. You may work tirelessly, but you cannot guarantee success. You may protect your body, but you cannot escape old age. When you understand this, deeply, not just in thought, you begin to feel a strange relief, a lightness, a freedom. You stop chasing. You stop fighting every moment. You start accepting. And when you accept, you find space. Space to breathe. Space to feel. Space to truly live. The ego resists this. It says, "But what about my dreams? My goals? My path?" And the Zen Master replies, "Follow the path, yes. Walk with care. But don't try to pave every inch of the road. Let the path show you something too." There is a story in Zen about a man who tries to cover the world with leather so his feet don't get hurt. But then he realizes, he only needs to wear shoes. The world doesn't need to be changed. His relationship with it does. Trying to control everything is like trying to paint the entire sky with your favorite color. It's exhausting, and it never lasts. Instead, learn to enjoy the sky, whether it's blue, gray, or full of stars. In Buddhism, the practice of letting go of control begins with mindfulness. Just watching the mind, seeing how it tries to shape everything, noticing how it reacts when things don't go its way. You begin by simply witnessing, not judging, not fixing, just seeing. Then, slowly, you start to smile at your own mind, at how dramatic it can be, how desperate, how full of stories. The Zen Master once told his student, "Your mind is a great servant but a terrible master." When the ego is in charge, you live in fear and resistance. When awareness leads, you live in peace and clarity. Control tries to predict life. Awareness meets life. And so, when something unexpected happens, instead of thinking, "This shouldn't be," you begin to ask, "What is this moment asking of me?" That simple shift, from resistance to curiosity, is the beginning of surrender. Letting go of control doesn't mean becoming passive. It means becoming wise. It means knowing when to act and when to allow, when to speak and when to be silent, when to push and when to let things unfold. This balance is not taught in schools. It is felt in stillness, in silence, in presence. The student once asked the master, "But what if I lose everything if I let go?" The master replied, "Maybe you will lose everything false. And what remains, that will be true." That is the gift of surrender. You lose your illusions. And what is left is peace. Let go of needing things to be a certain way. Let go of always being right. Let go of your story, your pride, your fear. Not all at once. Bit by bit. Breath by breath. The Zen Master ended the teaching with a simple sentence, spoken softly. You were never holding the world. It was always holding you. And in that moment, the student bowed deeply. Not to the master, not to the teaching, but to life itself. Come, sit down. Let's not rush. Let's not force. Let's just breathe. Now listen closely, because today we talk about something that ties your heart in knots, something you felt every day, but maybe never noticed deeply, attachment. And with it, always hand in hand, comes suffering. You may not like this word, suffering, but it's there. It hides behind your smile, behind your relationships, your ambitions, your failures, your phone screen. Yes, even behind your dreams. And all of it is connected to attachment. So what is attachment? Let me show you a picture. Imagine a little child at the beach, building a sandcastle. She's focused, joyful, pouring all her energy into it. The walls are tall, the gates are perfect, and she decorates it with shells and seaweed. But as the tide comes in, she begins to panic. She screams. She tries to block the waves with her hands. But the sea doesn't stop. The castle melts into the sand. The child cries. Now, was the problem the ocean, or the child's attachment to her castle? You see, this is exactly how we live. We build our castles, careers, relationships, identities, routines, and then we expect life not to change. But life is the sea. It never stays still. When we resist that flow, we suffer. The Buddha didn't say life is suffering. No, he said attachment causes suffering. We cling to people, to money, to control, to success, to being right. We want things to stay exactly as we want them. And when they don't, we feel pain, fear, anger, emptiness. Why? Because we believed it was ours. Our partner, our job, our future, our body, our story. But Zen teaches us, nothing is truly ours. Not even our breath. The moment we inhale, it starts slipping away. And yet we cling. Attachment is like tying your heart to a cloud. The cloud will move. And when it does, your heart is dragged across the sky, helplessly. People asked, "But Zen Master, are you saying we should not love? Should we not care?" Ah, no, not at all. Love is beautiful. Care is natural. But attachment is not the same as love. Love allows. Attachment demands. Love gives space. Attachment clutches tightly. Love is open. Attachment is full of fear. You can love without owning. You can care without clinging. But let's go deeper. Attachment starts when we believe something outside of us can complete us. That without this person, this job, this success, we are not whole. This is the root. We fear loss because we believe we are the things we have. I am my title. I am my relationship. I am my body. I am my story. But when the title is taken, the relationship ends, the body ages, or the story changes. Who are you then? The Buddha sat under a Bodhi tree and saw this clearly. Everything changes. There is no fixed self to protect. No permanent me to hold on to. What you call you is a flow, like a river. Changing, moving, never the same from one breath to the next. When we believe something in this river is solid, we try to grasp it. But it slips. That's slipping, that's suffering. So how do we begin to let go? First, you don't need to force anything. Start by seeing clearly. Just notice. Observe how much of your mental pain comes from clinging to how things should be, how people should act, how life should go. Next, practice softening your grip. When someone speaks harshly, don't grip the pain. Let it pass like wind. When you lose money, don't wrap your identity around it. Feel the emotion and let it go. When your plans fall apart, smile gently and watch how space opens up for something unexpected. Let me tell you a story. A monk once carried a heavy bag across the forest. After walking all day, sweating and aching, he reached the monastery. Another monk asked him, Why didn't you put the bag down on the path and rest? The monk replied, I didn't think of it. I just kept carrying. How many of us are like that? Carrying memories, regrets, anger, guilt, old conversations, broken expectations, all day, every day, never thinking to put them down. Zen is simple. Put it down. Just once. See what happens. Even a moment without attachment is a moment of peace. You might be thinking, but I can't just detach. I have responsibilities. I have people I care about. Yes, and that is why we detach. Letting go doesn't mean abandoning. It means showing up without fear. It means being with someone because you love them, not because you fear being alone. It means working hard because you enjoy the process, not because your identity depends on success. A Zen master once said, hold everything with open palms, not closed fists. That means, be present. Do your duties. Love. Laugh. Work. Create. But when the time comes to release, do so without resistance. Let the leaf fall. In Buddhism, this is the middle path, not clinging, not pushing away, just flowing with wisdom and awareness. Now let's look at what happens when we don't let go. You fight reality. You suffer in silence. You keep wishing people were different. You try to control what cannot be controlled. And slowly, life begins to feel heavy. You stop breathing deeply. You become afraid. You stop trusting life. But the moment you see, truly see, that all things rise and fall, the tightness in your chest loosens. You become lighter, freer. There is a great peace that comes when you no longer need things to be a certain way. Letting go is not losing. It is returning to your true self, untouched by conditions. Remember, attachment is not love. It is fear wearing love's mask. So now, look at your life. Where are you attached? To praise? To control? To your past? To your image? Can you begin to soften? Just a little? Zen is not a quick fix. It is a gentle path. You walk it slowly, breath by breath, step by step. There is no goal to chase, no peak to reach. Just this moment, letting go of what you're not, and resting in what you are. A vast sky, a quiet river, a deep silence. That is the end of suffering. And that is the lesson of this part. We will go deeper still, in the next chapter. But for now, sit with this. Feel how good it is to release, even a little. And when you're ready, we will walk again. Together, gently, silently, toward freedom. You have come this far. That means something inside you is already softening. The grip is loosening. You are beginning to see. Today, let us speak about a word that may sound heavy, but it is not. It is lighter than a feather, lighter than the breeze that passes without being seen. The word is sunyata. It means emptiness. But don't be afraid. It is not a scary word. It is not a hole, not loneliness, not nothingness. It is freedom. Let me explain this very slowly, very gently, as a Zen master would teach a student sitting in silence beneath a tree. There was once a student who came to his master and said, Master, I have read many books, I have practiced meditation, I have prayed to the Buddha. But still, I feel burdened. I don't feel free. What? The master looked at the student and said nothing. He poured tea into the student's cup. The cup filled, and then it overflowed. Tea spilled on the ground. Master, the cup is full, the student cried. The master nodded. Yes. And so are you. Full of opinions, full of plans, full of fears, full of yourself. How can I give you anything if your cup is already full? This is the heart of sunyata. You are trying to receive peace, truth, and lightness, but you are holding on to too much. You are carrying your past, your future, your worries, your hopes, your labels, your pride. You are like a traveler dragging a suitcase in every direction, never realizing that freedom means leaving the baggage behind. Sunyata is not a philosophy you understand in your head. It is a space you feel in your being. It is what you already are when you stop filling yourself with everything that is not real. The Buddha did not say, add more. He said, let go. He did not say, become better. He said, be empty. And emptiness is not a hole. It is openness. When you empty your cup, then, and only then can something real be poured into it. Until then, you are too full to drink life as it is. Now, let us look deeper. People think emptiness means you lose everything. No, you lose illusions. You lose false ideas. You lose the stories that do not serve you. You do not lose love. You do not lose life. In fact, in emptiness, You feel love for the first time without clinging. You experience life without fear. You breathe without resistance. Have you ever stood in a quiet forest, with no one around, and suddenly felt light, like you are not even a name or a person, just awareness, just presence? That is a taste of sunyata. It's not that you disappear. It's that the false self disappears. The voice that says, I am this, I need that, I must become this, that voice becomes quiet. In Zen, we say, when the mind is empty, the path is clear. Most people's minds are not empty. They are crowded, noisy, stuffed like a room with no space to walk. They try to find peace by rearranging the furniture, but what they really need is to remove what's not needed. Let me give you another story. There was a man searching for enlightenment. He visited many teachers. Finally, one old Zen monk told him, go to the mountain for 10 days and empty your mind. The man climbed the mountain, sat in silence, and tried to control his thoughts. He fought them, pushed them away. But the more he tried, the louder the thoughts became. On the 9th day, he gave up. He sat under a tree, sighed, and said, I don't care anymore. And just like that, the thoughts faded. The fight ended. There was nothing, and in that nothing was peace. He went back to the monk and said, Master, I failed. The monk smiled. No, you finally succeeded. You stopped fighting. You let go. That is emptiness. Emptiness is not a place of force. It is the end of force. It is the gentle resting of the mind. It is the moment when you no longer push, pull, resist, or chase. You simply are. So how do we live with sunyata in our daily life? You wake up, and instead of filling your mind with plans, worries, and opinions, you pause. You breathe. You say, I don't know what today will bring, and that's okay. You look at people without labeling them, not as friend or enemy, good or bad, just as human. You look at yourself not as successful or a failure, not as someone important or someone broken, but as a passing cloud, always changing. No fixed self. You do your work with full heart, but without gripping the result. If it works, good. If not, also good. This is emptiness, not carelessness, but freedom from obsession. Most suffering comes from the idea, I must be something. But when you are okay with being nothing, you are finally free. Buddhism says, everything is empty. That means nothing has a fixed, permanent, unchanging essence. You are not the same person you were yesterday. Your thoughts, your body, your emotions, all change. So why hold on to any idea as if it is final? When you realize this, you stop clinging. And when you stop clinging, you start living. The beauty of sunyata is that it brings deep compassion. When you are empty of ego, you can truly see others. You can listen. You can love without wanting to own. You can give without needing credit. And you can suffer without collapsing, because you know the suffering is not you. It is just a wave, and it will pass. In Zen, we do not say, I am peaceful. We say, there is peace. Because when the I gets too strong, peace disappears. So every day ask gently, what am I filling myself with that no longer serves me? Can I let this thought pass, like a bird flying across the sky? Can I allow the silence to speak louder than the noise in my head? You do not need to become someone new. You just need to drop what you are not. Sunyata is already there, like the sky behind the clouds. You don't create it. You simply stop covering it. And once you touch this emptiness, life becomes simple. A sip of tea is enough. A breeze through the window becomes poetry. A walk in silence becomes prayer. Because you are no longer trying to become, you are simply being. Letting go of everything doesn't mean you disappear from the world. It means the false weight disappears, and what remains is clear, light, free. So walk gently today. You don't have to carry the past. You don't have to chase the future. You don't have to fix yourself. You are already whole when you stop being full. Just empty the cup. Then, truth will pour in. And peace will not visit you. It will live in you. Mindfulness and letting go, the present moment as a doorway. He sits quietly, robes gathered around his folded legs, eyes half closed, breathing slow. Then he speaks. You are thinking too much again, aren't you? Your mind is running. Here, there, everywhere. It's remembering what happened yesterday. It's worrying about what will happen tomorrow. It's holding on to what someone said, to what you lost, to what never happened the way you wanted. You carry all of this inside your head. So heavy, so noisy. Let me ask you, gently, when was the last time you were just here? Not in the past, not in the future, just here, right now, with this breath. Yes, this breath. You see, letting go is not something that happens in the future. It happens here, now, in this moment. The present moment is not just time, it is a doorway that leads you to peace. The Buddha did not say, fix your life before you can be free. He said, be aware, be awake. That is the way to freedom. Mindfulness means awareness. It means watching. It means being so present that even a small breath feels like a miracle. Right now, you may be thinking, I try to let go, but my mind doesn't stop. Yes, of course, the mind is wild. It jumps like a monkey. It clings to everything. But here is the secret. You don't need to stop your thoughts to be free. You just need to stop believing every thought. You must become the watcher. Let me tell you something simple. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who sees them. Imagine sitting near a river. Leaves are floating by on the water. Each leaf is a thought. I am not good enough. What if they leave me? Why did that happen to me? They keep floating. But you? You just sit. You watch the leaves go by. You do not jump in. You do not fight the current. This is mindfulness. This is how letting go begins. One breath. One step. One moment. This is all you ever truly have. People often try to let go by thinking about letting go. They try hard. They struggle. But the more they try, the tighter the knot becomes. You cannot untie a knot by pulling harder. You must soften. You must look gently. You must stay close. You must be present. Letting go is not an action. It is a happening. And it only happens when the mind is still enough to see. You see, suffering is not in the moment. It is in the resistance to the moment. When the rain comes, we wish it were sunny. When someone leaves, we wish they stayed. When we feel pain, we want pleasure. This constant fight, this is what burns us out. But what if you just stayed with what is? What if you allowed the rain to fall, without trying to stop it? What if you allowed sadness to come, like a guest, and sit with you for tea? You would find something amazing. It passes. Everything passes. When you are mindful, you stop adding extra weight to what is already here. You feel it fully, and then it moves on. Let me tell you a small story. There was a monk who carried a bowl of water across a rocky path. His master said, walk with this bowl. Do not spill a drop. The young monk was nervous. He walked carefully, but his eyes kept jumping to the stones, to the sky, to a butterfly, to a thought. And yes, water spilled. He returned, ashamed. The master said, try again. But this time, keep your eyes only on the water. He did. And he walked peacefully, step by step, breath by breath. The bowl was full when he returned. The master smiled. This is how you walk through life. The present moment is not always pleasant. Sometimes it is full of grief. Sometimes it is dull. Sometimes it is uncomfortable. But mindfulness is not about pleasure. It is about presence. You learn to stay, to remain, to befriend the moment, no matter what face it wears. That is the courage of the peaceful. Have you ever eaten mindfully? Not just chewing, but tasting. Feeling the texture, the warmth, the sensation. That is a form of meditation. It teaches you to be with life, as it is. You can walk mindfully. You can drink tea mindfully. You can even cry mindfully. It is all about one thing, not escaping the now. Buddha said, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. He was not asking you to avoid planning or forget memory. He was pointing at your home, the place where life actually happens. Right now, the more you return here, the more you notice. Most of your suffering doesn't live in the now. It lives in stories. Stories the mind tells over and over. Mindfulness is the art of returning from the story to the breath, from noise to silence, from confusion to clarity, from pain to peace. Here is something to try. Close your eyes. Take one breath, just one. Can you feel the air enter your body? Can you feel it leave? Do nothing else. Just watch. Now again. Now again. This is mindfulness. This is enough. You don't need special tools. You don't need a perfect place. You don't need to fix yourself first. All you need is now, and the willingness to be with it, to see clearly, to feel honestly, to let everything rise and fall like waves on the ocean. When you practice mindfulness, you learn to trust, not in the world, not in people, but in life itself. You begin to see that everything has a rhythm, a wisdom, a season. There is a time to hold. There is a time to let go. Mindfulness shows you which is which. And slowly, with each breath, the fear lessens. The need to control softens. The anxiety of missing out fades. You find that what you were looking for in the future was always hidden in the now. Peace was not something to reach. It was something to return to. In mindfulness, you meet yourself. Not the image, not the voice in your head, but your true self, quiet, still, wide like the sky. When that happens, even letting go becomes natural. You do not force it. You do not rush it. You simply let everything be. And that is the deepest kind of freedom. This is the path. Not tomorrow. Not one day. But now. Come back. Come back to this moment. Again and again and again. Let go. Not by doing something, but by being fully with what is already here. Letting go of desires, the root of inner peace. Listen carefully, dear friend. There is a great truth hidden in the simple act of wanting. From the moment we wake until we close our eyes at night, our minds are busy wanting. Wanting this, wanting that. A new phone, more money, respect, love, success, approval. The list never ends. Desire becomes a river that never stops flowing. Now, think for a moment. When you get what you want, do you feel truly peaceful? Or is it that the peace lasts only a little while before another desire arises? Like a thirsty traveler who drinks water from a river, only to find the thirst returns moments later. This is the nature of desire. It creates a cycle. You want something, you get it, you feel happy for a while, then that happiness fades, and you want something else. This cycle can feel endless, like running after the horizon that moves farther as you approach. In Buddhism, desire is called tanha, which means thirst. It is a thirst that can never be fully quenched. The Buddha taught that this endless thirst is the root cause of suffering. Why? Because whenever we want, we are saying that what we have is not enough. We are not satisfied. We believe that happiness lies somewhere outside ourselves, in some object or achievement. But what if this is not true? What if the happiness we seek is not out there, but inside? What if the peace we chase is already within us, hidden beneath the layers of our desires? This is why letting go of desire is so important. It is not about denying yourself or becoming cold and empty. It is about waking up to a deeper understanding that true peace cannot be found by chasing things, but by releasing the chase. When you let go of desire, something beautiful happens. Your mind becomes quiet. Your heart feels light. You no longer need to prove yourself or compete with others. You simply are. This is the essence of inner peace. But how do we let go of desire? It's not easy because desire feels so natural. It is like a fire burning inside us. To extinguish a fire, you do not add more fuel. You remove the fuel and cut off the oxygen. In the same way, we must remove the fuel that feeds desire. This fuel is attachment, the belief that things we want will make us happy forever. When we attach to desire, it grows stronger. When we see desire clearly for what it is, its power weakens. Imagine you are holding a hot coal in your hand. The coal represents your desire. The longer you hold it, the more it burns you. But if you drop the coal, the pain ends. Letting go of desire is like dropping that burning coal. It is an act of kindness to yourself. This is not about giving up all enjoyment in life. It is about not being ruled by cravings and compulsions. You can enjoy food, music, friendship, success, but without being enslaved by the need to have or keep them. In Zen teachings, we often speak about non-attachment. This means you can appreciate things without clinging to them. Like watching clouds float by in the sky. You see them, you enjoy their shapes, but you don't try to hold them. Desire often comes with fear. Fear of losing what we have or fear of not getting what we want. These fears create tension and worry inside us. But when you practice letting go of desire, fear loses its grip. A great Zen story goes like this. A man asked the master, "How can I find peace?" The master said, "What are you holding in your hand?" The man replied, "A sword." The master smiled and said, "Drop it. Then peace will come." The sword is like desire. It cuts and wounds us. Holding it tightly only brings pain. But when we loosen our grip, peace naturally appears. One day, try the simple practice. Notice a desire that is strong in you. Observe it without judgment. See how it feels in your body. Is it tight, heavy, restless? Now, imagine gently placing that desire on the ground. You don't push it away or fight it. You simply let it be and step back. What do you feel? Perhaps a little fear or discomfort. That is normal. Change always feels uncomfortable at first. But if you keep practicing, slowly your mind will learn to rest without craving. Desire is like a wave in the ocean. It rises, reaches its peak, and falls back again. If you try to grab the wave, you get wet and pulled under. But if you let the wave rise and fall naturally, you remain calm and steady. Another key to letting go of desire is gratitude. When you cultivate gratitude for what you have, your mind turns away from what is missing. Gratitude shines a light on the present moment and shows us the beauty already here. In Buddhism, the practice of contentment is powerful. Being content does not mean being lazy or settling for less. It means recognizing the fullness of life in the present moment. Desire often pulls us into the future, worrying about what we lack. Contentment brings us back home to now. Letting go of desire also helps us develop compassion for ourselves and others. When we stop chasing endless wants, we can open our hearts to the needs of those around us. Compassion grows naturally when the mind is free from the noise of craving. Remember, desire is not a bad thing in itself. It is a natural energy that can inspire us to grow and create. But when desire becomes an obsession, it causes suffering. The Zen path teaches balance. We use desire wisely, like a tool, without becoming slaves to it. Imagine a boat sailing on the sea. Desire is the wind. It can push the boat forward or throw it off course. The wise sailor respects the wind but does not let it control the direction. In your life, you are the sailor. Let your mind be calm and clear, steering with wisdom. Every time you feel a strong desire rising, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this desire helping me or hurting me? Can I let it go without losing myself? With practice, you will see that desires come and go like passing clouds. They do not define you. The great Zen Master Dogen said, "To study the Buddha way is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self." Letting go of desire is part of forgetting the self that clings and suffers. In the silence beyond desire, there is freedom. There is peace. There is joy that does not depend on anything outside. So, dear friend, on this path of letting go, be gentle with yourself. Do not rush or force. Just be aware and willing. Each moment is an opportunity to practice. Each breath a chance to release. The river of life flows on, and when you let go of desire, you flow with it, effortlessly and peacefully. Let this truth settle deep in your heart. Peace begins the moment you choose to let go. Releasing past trauma, healing through Buddhist wisdom. When the mind carries old wounds, it is like carrying a heavy stone on your back. You try to walk forward, but that stone pulls you down again and again. This stone is past trauma, painful memories, hurts, or fears from long ago that still live inside you. The first teaching I offer is this: the past is not your prison. You are not bound to the chains of what has happened. Yet, most of us live as if those chains are real, as if our past stories define us. But they do not. Imagine a river. The water flows continuously, never stopping in one place. Now, picture a branch that falls into the river. The branch floats for a while, caught in a whirlpool of currents and waves. The branch struggles, stuck, unable to move freely. This whirlpool is like trauma. It traps the mind in circles of pain. But the river keeps flowing. If the branch loosens its grip on the whirlpool, it can float freely again with the water. This is the way of healing, letting go of what traps us. In Buddhism, the mind is often compared to water. When calm, water reflects clearly, showing everything as it is. When disturbed, water becomes murky, confusing what is real. Trauma clouds the mind's water. It stirs up waves of fear, sadness, anger, and pain. The Zen path shows us how to calm these waters, not by forcing them to be still, but by allowing them to settle naturally. You don't need to fight your pain. You only need to watch it, with gentle attention, without pushing it away or holding on. Many people think that healing means forgetting the pain. But in truth, healing means seeing the pain clearly and accepting it. This acceptance is not giving up or being weak. It is the greatest courage. When you bring kind attention to your pain, it begins to lose its power. Like a flame, if you pour water on it, the flame dims. The same way, your mindful awareness can soothe your pain. A story from Zen tradition can help us here. A young monk once asked his master, How do I stop suffering from the wounds of my past? The master handed him a bowl of water and said, "Hold this water and do not spill it." The monk held tightly. Then the master asked, "Now, put your hand down and rest." The monk obeyed. The water spilled. The master smiled. When you hold on tightly to pain, you spill your peace. When you relax your grip, peace flows freely. This is the essence of letting go of trauma. The more you clutch your wounds, the heavier your burden. The softer your hold, the lighter your load. In meditation, this means sitting quietly with your thoughts and feelings. When memories arise, instead of pushing them away or being swept away, watch them like clouds passing in the sky. They come and they go. One may feel sadness arise. Let it come. Let it be. Do not judge it. Do not chase it. Do not run from it. In this gentle watching, healing happens. The energy of pain transforms into understanding. This process is not quick. It may take months or years. But each moment you return to your breath and your mind, you clear the muddy waters a little more. Another teaching from the Buddha helps us. All conditioned things are impermanent. This means that everything we experience, joy, pain, sorrow, trauma, is always changing. Nothing lasts forever. If pain does not last, then holding on to it tightly only causes suffering. Buddhist practice offers us the four foundations of mindfulness: body, feelings, mind, and phenomena. By observing each with kindness and without judgment, we step out of the cycle of trauma. Start with your body. Notice where your pain lives physically. Maybe it is a tight chest or heavy shoulders. Breathe into these places, sending warmth and softness. Then watch your feelings. Label them simply: sadness, fear, anger. Name them without stories, just names. This helps to weaken their control. Next, observe your mind. Watch your thoughts like leaves floating on a stream. Some thoughts will carry pain, others hope. Just watch them all without attachment. Finally, observe phenomena, things as they are. Understand that your experience is part of the larger flow of life, changing every moment. Through this gentle, steady practice, you create a safe space inside yourself. A space where trauma no longer has power to harm. Remember, trauma is like a shadow. It appears when light is blocked. But light is always there. When you face the shadow without fear, it fades. Healing does not erase your past. It transforms your relationship with it. You become the witness, not the victim. In daily life, this means small acts of kindness toward yourself. When a painful memory arises, say to yourself, "I see you. I am here. You are not alone." You might also find strength in sharing your story with a trusted friend or teacher. Speaking pain aloud releases its hold. At times, trauma may feel overwhelming, like a storm. In those moments, return to your breath. Feel the air enter and leave your body. This simple act grounds you in the present moment, the only true reality. Zen stories remind us that pain is part of the human path, but so is healing. The lotus flower grows from the mud, but it blooms pure and beautiful above the water. So too can your heart rise, cleansed by mindfulness and compassion. Do not rush the process. Like the seasons, healing has its time. Be patient and gentle with yourself. Finally, remember this: you are not your trauma. You are the sky, vast and clear. Clouds may pass, but the sky remains. In this understanding, you find freedom. Freedom not from pain, but freedom in pain. This is the deep healing that Buddhism offers, a way to let go of the past and open your heart to life again. Let the past be what it is. Let your mind be the river that flows onward, always fresh, always alive. This is the true path to peace. Sit down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now let me ask you something. Who are you? Most people answer with a name, or a job, or a rule. They say, "I am a teacher, I am a mother, I am a businessman, I am poor, I am broken, I am successful." But are you really those things? Or are those just stories you have been carrying for too long? Today, I want to talk to you about the story you keep telling yourself, and how the story has become your prison. From the moment you were born, people started giving you labels. Good child, bad child, smart, dumb, strong, weak, pretty, ugly, quiet, loud. Then society gave you more: gender, religion, class, caste, nationality. And soon, all these labels stacked on your back like stones in a bag. Heavy, invisible, unspoken, but always there. You began to live through these labels. You forgot what it felt like to simply be. As a Zen master, I tell you this. You are not your name. You are not your past. You are not your success, your failure, your pain, or your praise. You are something far beyond all of that. Let me tell you a short story. A student once came to an old monk. The student said, "I am lost. I don't know who I am anymore." The monk smiled gently and pointed to the lake nearby. "Look at the lake," he said. "When the wind blows, the surface breaks. Waves appear, but the water beneath is still calm. The waves are not the lake. They are just moments on its surface. You are like the lake," the monk continued. "Your name, your fears, your rules, they are just the wind on your surface. But deep inside, you are still, silent, and untouched." The student asked, "But how do I stop the wind?" The monk said, "You don't. You just stop believing that the waves are who you are. Letting go of identity is not about becoming nothing. It's about becoming free. Free from the pressure to prove yourself. Free from the fear of being judged. Free from the past you keep dragging into the present. You see, identity gives you a frame, but it also becomes a cage. You think, this is just how I am. But is it really? Or is it just how you've become over time? Let me show you another way to see it. Imagine a mirror. A brand new, clean, bright mirror. It reflects everything. The tree, a face, a bird flying by. But none of these things stick to the mirror. They come and go. The mirror stays empty, open, and untouched. That mirror is your true nature. Now imagine you start painting on the mirror. You draw your name, your traumas, your stories, your victories. Soon, the mirror is covered. You can't see its surface anymore. You start to believe that the paint is you. But if you take a wet cloth, slowly and gently, and wipe the mirror, what happens? The mirror shines again. Pure, whole, free. In Zen, we wipe the mirror with silence, with stillness, with awareness. And slowly, we begin to remember who we were before we learned who we were supposed to be. Your identity is not bad. It's just not the full truth. You can still play rules, be a parent, a worker, a friend. But when you stop clinging to those rules as your whole self, you become light. You become flexible, like water, taking the shape of any cup, but never becoming the cup itself. People fear letting go of identity because they think they will disappear. But the opposite is true. When you drop the mask, your real face appears. Let's go deeper. Ask yourself, who would I be without my name? Who would I be without my fears? Who would I be without my pain? What if I stopped saying, "This happened to me," and instead asked, "What am I now?" There's a Buddhist teaching. Form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. It means nothing has a fixed identity. Everything is always changing, flowing, evolving. Even you. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago. Not even yesterday. So why keep acting like you are stuck in a fixed self? Sometimes people say, "But I've been like this my whole life." I smile. And I ask, have you tried not being that for even one day? It's okay to not know who you are. In fact, that's the most honest place to begin. When the ego quiets down, something else rises. A peaceful stillness. A gentle awareness. This awareness doesn't need to be anyone. It just watches. It just breathes. It feels everything, but clings to nothing. You don't need to destroy your identity. You just need to stop clinging to it. Let it rest. Let it breathe. Let it loosen. When you do that, a strange peace appears. Suddenly, you're not trying so hard to be someone. You're just being. This is what the Buddha called nirvana, not a heaven, but a state of unburdened freedom. He let go of being a prince. He let go of being a seeker. He even let go of being enlightened. He just walked. Saturday. Breathed. Smiled. In Zen, we say, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. It means, the world stays the same, but you are no longer trapped in it. You move through it like a breeze, gentle, clear, alive. So today, I invite you to gently ask, what part of your identity is weighing you down? What story are you repeating in your head that no longer serves you? Can you sit for a moment and just be? Not as someone, not as a label, just a breath, in this moment, with no past, no future, just now. That is freedom. That is who you really are. Non-resistance. How acceptance sets you free. So, you have come this far on the path. You have heard about letting go. You've reflected on attachment. You've sat in silence and watched your mind run in circles. Now, let's talk about something even deeper, non-resistance. Let's walk gently into the heart of it, together. A Zen master once said, "A tree that does not bend with the wind will break." Now, pause for a moment. Think about that. What breaks us most in life? Is it pain alone? No. It is the resistance to pain. Pain comes. But suffering. Suffering is born when we say, "This should not be happening." That is the resistance. That inner push. That silent struggle. And this is what we must understand today. Look at nature. Does the river resist the rocks? No. It flows around them. Does the wind resist the mountain? No. It moves past. Does the sky ever say, "This cloud should not be here"? Never. So why do we, human beings, resist so much? He once looked into the eyes of a tired student and said, "You are tired not because of what life has given you. You are tired because you keep fighting it." Let us make this very clear. Non-resistance is not weakness. It is not about becoming passive or helpless. Non-resistance is power. It is intelligence. It is a quiet strength that says, "I do not need to control everything. I allow what is." Think of a person walking in the rain. They grumble, curse the sky, and run in circles trying to stay dry. But the rain does not stop. And in trying to avoid the wetness, they end up soaked in both water and frustration. Then there is another person. They simply walk. They do not complain. They let the rain fall. They smile. They accept. This is non-resistance. Now ask yourself, how much energy do you spend every day resisting? Resisting people, wishing they were different. Resisting your past, wishing it had not happened. Resisting your present, hoping it would change. This resistance becomes a storm inside you, a fight you never win. And letting go begins not with doing more, but with resisting less. Non-resistance doesn't mean you approve of what's wrong. It means you stop giving it the power to disturb your peace. When someone insults you, and you do not react, that is non-resistance. When your plans fail, and you do not panic, that is non-resistance. When pain enters your life, and you welcome it like a teacher, that is non-resistance. The Zen Master always told his students, "Life is not your enemy. Your thoughts about life, that is where the battle lives." And he would smile, a deep, peaceful smile. He knew that once the storm inside the mind clears, the outside world loses its grip. He told them, "Every time you say no to the moment, you close a door. Every time you say yes, you open yourself to freedom." But what about suffering? What if life gives you great pain? This is the heart of it. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is a call, a bell, a lesson. When you resist pain, you double it. But when you face it, accept it, understand it, you go beyond it. One day, a young man came to the Zen Master with tears in his eyes. "My heart is broken," he said. "Everything I love is slipping away." The Master didn't speak for a long time. He poured tea slowly, carefully, and then finally said, "Then stop clutching. Let it slip. And in that empty hand, peace will land." That is how non-resistance works. You don't force peace. You make space for it. You create that space by not fighting the moment. Let's bring this into daily life. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Do you explode, or do you breathe? Your partner speaks harshly. Do you argue, or do you listen without taking it personally? Your plans fall apart. Do you curse your fate, or do you flow with the new rhythm? Each of these moments is a chance to practice, a doorway. And in Buddhism, these small moments matter more than great theories. It is not about saying wise words. It is about living with a soft mind and open heart. The Master often told a simple story. 2 monks were walking beside a river. A woman needed help crossing. One monk picked her up and carried her to the other side. Hours later, the other monk said, "You know we're not supposed to touch women. Why did you do that?" The first monk said, "I let her go hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" That's resistance. Holding on to what is already past. Fighting what is no longer here. And the more we carry, the heavier we become. Non-resistance is letting the moment be what it is. Not adding stories. Not judging. Just being. Let's not misunderstand. This is not an escape from action. You still do what must be done. But without the weight of resistance. Without the poison of anger. Without the grip of fear. A peaceful heart acts wisely. A resistant heart acts blindly. When we resist, we become tense. Our body tightens. Our breath shortens. Our mind becomes narrow. But when we accept, something beautiful happens. Space opens up inside us. The body relaxes. The breath deepens. The mind becomes clear. And in that clarity, we see choices we never saw before. The Zen Master said, "If you want to fly, stop arguing with the wind." And that's the truth. Life has its own rhythm, its own intelligence, its own wisdom. The more we try to control it, the more we lose ourselves. But when we align with it, life flows through us, not against us. Non-resistance is not just a practice. It is a way of being. It is the art of saying, "This is happening. I will not fight it. I will learn from it. I will move with it." It does not mean we become stones. It means we become rivers. Soft, strong, silent, and free. So today, just notice. Where are you saying no to life? What would happen if you said yes, even just for a moment? What might open up inside you? The Master's voice became softer now, as he ended this part of the teaching. To resist is to suffer. To accept is to understand. To flow is to be free. And then he said no more. Because in silence, resistance ends. And in silence, the real letting go begins. Let me tell you something strange, yet very real. You can live with nothing, and yet own everything. It may sound like a riddle, but it is not. It is a truth that can only be understood when the noise in the mind begins to calm down. Today, sit with me as I speak not just from books or teachings, but from experience. I am not here to give you answers, but to guide you towards seeing for yourself. Let's begin. When people hear living with nothing, they often think of poverty, loss, sadness, or emptiness. But in Zen, nothing does not mean lack, it means freedom. It means not being tied down to anything, even your own ideas, habits, or identity. Imagine you walk into a room. The room is completely empty. There are no chairs, no decorations, no sound, no clutter. Most people feel uncomfortable in such a room. Why? Because there is nothing there to distract the mind. In that silence, the mind starts to panic. It wants something, anything, to hold on to. But if you sit in that room long enough, something beautiful happens. You begin to feel space. You begin to breathe. You see how heavy all the stuff outside really is. And then, you realize, in this room of nothing, you feel peace. That is the beginning of living with nothing. In our world today, we are taught to collect money, things, titles, experiences, followers, likes, praise. We believe the more we collect, the safer we become. But in truth, the more we collect, the more we fear losing. What you own ends up owning you. Have you ever worried about your phone being lost? Or your car being scratched? Or your reputation being harmed? This worry is the weight of ownership. The more you have, the more you fear. But when you own nothing, when you stop holding, something surprising happens. The world starts to open up. You begin to see beauty in everything. A tree becomes enough. A moment becomes full. You become rich, not by what you possess, but by what you can enjoy without needing it. This is what I mean when I say, you can live with nothing, yet own everything. The Zen path is not about leaving your family, throwing away your job, or living in a cave. It is about changing your relationship to the things around you. You can have a house, but don't let it become your identity. You can love someone deeply, but don't cling. You can succeed, but don't become addicted to success. Hold lightly. Breathe easily. It's like holding water in your hand. If you grip too tightly, the water spills. But if you keep your hand open, the water stays. This is how life works too. I once met a young man who was very ambitious. He wanted to become rich, powerful, and respected. He said to me, "Master, I want to have everything." I asked him why. He said, "Because I don't want to feel small. I want to be somebody." So I asked him, "When you sleep, do you sleep better with a golden pillow?" He laughed. "No, master. Does a hungry man feel less hungry if he owns a big car?" He said, "No, master." Then I asked him, "What is it that really fills your heart?" He became quiet. After a long pause, he said, "Peace. I want peace." I smiled. Then chase peace, not power. Chase silence, not success. Peace is free. Power always comes at a cost. That day, he understood something. He didn't throw his dreams away. He just stopped being a slave to them. He began living simply. He worked, loved, laughed, but he stopped clinging. He was still in the world, but the world was no longer in him. Buddha said, "The root of suffering is attachment." But he also said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Letting go of everything does not mean becoming empty. It means becoming open, open to the moment, to truth, to love, to change. Have you seen a lotus flower? It grows in dirty water, but it does not get stained. Why? Because it doesn't cling to the mud. It rises above. That is how you must be. Live in the world, but don't let the world stain you. Now let me share a small story. Once, a monk visited a wealthy man. The man was proud of his collection of art, furniture, and rare objects. He showed the monk every room. Finally, the monk asked him, "Do you own these things, or do these things own you?" The man looked confused. The monk continued, "If someone breaks them, you suffer. If someone steals them, you become angry. If someone doesn't praise them, you feel small. Are these your things, or your chains?" The wealthy man went silent. That day, something inside him shifted. You see, having things is not the problem. Being trapped by them is. Zen is not about saying no to the world. It is about saying yes with a free heart. You can wear good clothes, but don't cry when they fade. You can enjoy your phone, but don't panic if it breaks. You can enjoy love, but don't collapse if it ends. This is balance. This is inner power. There is a deep teaching in Buddhism called non-attachment. It doesn't mean not caring. It means caring so deeply that you allow others to be free. You allow life to move. You trust that what is meant for you will stay, and what is not will go. When you live with this mindset, everything becomes a gift. You begin to feel full, even with less. You walk lighter. You sleep deeper. You smile more. The greatest masters had very little, but their hearts were full. Their eyes sparkled. Their presence healed others. Why? Because they were not weighed down by needing, comparing, proving, or chasing. They walked the earth as guests, not owners. That is what you must remember. You are a guest here. Stay humble. Stay kind. Leave no trace but love. Let go of the heavy. Let go of the extra. Let go of the fear of being nothing. Because in nothing, there is everything. Silence holds all sounds. Emptiness holds all forms. Stillness contains all movement. When you taste this, you become free. Truly free. And when you are free, not from the world, but from the grip of it, then you can live with nothing and still own everything. Now take a breath. Close your eyes. Let this truth settle in your heart. You don't need more. You need less. You don't need control. You need trust. You don't need to hold. You need to open. This is the Zen way. This is the art of letting go. And in letting go, you will find the deepest joy, the quietest strength, and the most beautiful life. We will go even deeper in the final part of this journey. But for now, just be still. You already have everything. Just stop trying to own it. Let life pass through you like wine through bamboo. Soft, silent, and free. True liberation, let go of letting go. The Zen Master sat quietly, eyes soft, posture still, but alive. The group in front of him had been with him a long time. They had walked through lessons of suffering, silence, breath, identity, and surrender. Now, here they sat, waiting for the final word. One seeker asked, "Master, I've let go of my past, my fears, my desires, even my need for people to understand me. But something still feels heavy. What is it?" The Master smiled gently. "It is the final na," he said. "Now, you must let go of letting go." There was silence. The students didn't understand. "Isn't letting go the path?" "Yes," the Master said. "It is the path. But in the end, even the path becomes something you carry." Let's slow down. We've all tried so hard. To be good. To be calm. To be wise. To be peaceful. We've let go of many things. Our regrets, our toxic habits, our judgments. But have you noticed something? We became attached to letting go. We started clinging to non-clinging. We made peace our new project, and effort returned, just wearing softer clothes. The Master leaned forward. "You are trying to be free by trying hard to be free. That's the problem. True liberation is not one more effort. It's not the final achievement. It's when all effort drops. Even the effort to let go. That's the last doorway. Letting go of letting go. It sounds strange, but it's simple. Just be. Be without needing to improve. Be without trying to fix anything. Be without needing answers." The Master told a story. A man was climbing a mountain for many years, searching for the truth. Through storms, pain, hunger, he climbed. Finally, he reached the top. There was no temple, no light, no God, just the sky. He sat down, cried, and laughed. The journey had never been about the top. The climb was always the home. That's what it means to let go of letting go. To see that you are never separate. To stop searching. To breathe, and know that's enough. Look around you now. Notice the air touching your skin. Hear the sounds around you. Feel the weight of your body sitting. You are here. Life is happening. Can you allow it to be? Can you stop shaping it? Stop naming it? Stop trying to grow all the time? That's the final release. Even the idea of being spiritual becomes heavy if you carry it too long. Even peace becomes noise if you talk about it too much. Let it fall. Let it all fall. And then, something quiet remains. It was always here. It's you. Not the name, not the body, not the thoughts, but the open space behind them. You are not broken. You never were. You just believed you had to change. Now you see, everything was already enough. You were chasing silence, but silence was inside you. You were chasing peace, but peace was resting at your feet. The Zen Master stood up and pointed to the sky. You see that bird flying? It does not care about Zen. It does not care about enlightenment. It just flies. Be like that. Fly. Sit. Rest. Breathe. You are not here to become. You are here to be. Now listen carefully. There are no more lessons. There is nothing more to do. There is only this moment. Not as a step, not as a means, but as the whole thing. Just this. Always this. And now, one last reminder. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribed. Can you believe that? If this series helped you breathe more gently, if it gave your heart even a drop of peace, then please, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your one click supports us more than you know. Let us continue spreading this gentle light, together. No clinging, no pushing, no seeking, just stillness. Thank you for walking this path. Let the words end. Let silence teach the rest. You are free. You always were. And now, you remember.